Hi friends, this is EDJ, and I have decided that I'm going to create a series of videos about my memoir, Deconstructing Sexual Shame, because I think it's an important story that people need to hear about so that we can all help to heal each other's sexual shame. So my first chapter begins telling the story about a boy I had a crush on when I was, I think, eight or nine. And I was sitting on the school bus divulging this secret crush to a friend, and then she divulged my secret to another friend or classmate. And the next day at school, people were laughing, pointing at me and going, "She's the girl who likes, let's call him Mr. Popular." And I was a chubby little 9-year-old, becoming overweight, and not, I felt very uncool, unpopular. I was shy, or at least I was introverted. I was a little secluded, maybe. Like, I had friends, but I didn't feel like I had a best friend. I felt like I was a bit, in those circles of maybe 3 friends where it's like they're really good friends and I'm just kind of tagging along. That's what I felt like, the third wheel in some of my friendship cliques. And yeah, so this chubby, unpopular girl has a crush on a popular, good-looking boy, and people are laughing. And then I share a story about, a few different stories. I share a story about how I did it, like, role played with a friend who she put some like balloons in her clothes and I put something down my pants, and it became extremely uncomfortable very fast, and I was rapidly out of there just going, I can't do this. I'm not role playing mummies and daddies. It's too uncomfortable. I talk about how my mum sat me down and gave me the sex talk when I was also around the age of 9. She just explained penetration and talked about marriage and children, babies. And that was the extent of our conversation. We really didn't talk about sex beyond that one initial conversation about penetration and how it can make you pregnant. So that was my sex education, which then bubbled into sexual shame, because I think subconsciously I suspected that maybe I had already experienced some form of penetration or something that would be considered shameful, because I understood very quickly that sex was for marriage and that I was not married, and that anything that I did that was sexual or felt that was sexual or arousing was shameful, was not because it was too early, and it shouldn't be done yet. It should be for later on when you're married. And I very quickly internalized sexual shame and any form of arousal, which I did experience arousal even at a young age, but I very quickly kind of pushed it away and went, I'm not going to touch myself for pleasure. I'm just going to get on with my day. I'm going to go pee it out in the toilet. Like, sometimes I would go to the toilet to remove arousal. And so that's what my first chapter is all about. And I will get into what happened from then, other things that I learned and discovered about sexual shame, and how I gradually kind of overcame sexual shame. When I say gradually, I'm talking about it took all through my 20s. So this is a detailed and lengthy story about sexual shame, and I hope that you'll stay tuned for the next chapter.